Governor Bob Ferguson was in Seattle on Wednesday to sign a slate of bills centered around housing, including the contentious cap on rent increases that passed on the last day of this year's legislative session. From the Olympia News Bureau, Murrow News fellow Albert James spoke with supporters about why the bill is a first step in protecting renters, while opponents say it will only make the state's housing shortage even worse.
We are going to have our governor sign 10 bills. Yay! 10 bills!
The governor signed into law bills expanding property tax relief for disabled veterans, relaxing parking requirements for new construction, and other efforts with the goal of boosting housing supply and accessibility. But the biggest item he signed into law was the rent stabilization bill that was a hot topic for lawmakers this year.
Let's hold it up. Great job.
Under House Bill 1217, annual rent increases are limited to the lesser of 10% or 7% plus inflation. For manufactured homes, that cap is at 5% every year. Some exceptions to the limitations exist, and caps for apartments and homes expire in 15 years. Supporters say the legislation is intended to prevent excessive rent increases as people struggle to keep up with increasing housing costs.
Rent goes up faster than wages. Seniors see rent go up faster than Social Security. A record number of families in this state are paying more than half of their income on rent. That's not okay.
Those supporters acknowledge this is only a solid first step, as more needs to be done to support new housing and keep people in homes.
10% and 7% plus CPI is still too high for so many folks who are navigating this crisis here in this state. But today, it's an important moment to stop and celebrate this first start, right, to keep us going, because we have work ahead of us.
The bill faced strong opposition in the legislature, with a handful of Democrats joining all Republicans in voting against the effort. Opponents representing landlords and builders say the law ultimately hurts renters, as landlords wouldn't be able to keep up with maintenance costs and may leave the rental business altogether.
The overwhelming response that I'm getting from my membership is once the current tenants that they have move, right, they're going to sell the unit. And what that's going to do is that's going to reduce the total supply.
Opponents argue that creating more housing is the best way to lower costs, but development is hindered by strict regulations on land usage and housing density. And with the government controlling rents, developers are going to be even more deterred from building.
That's what has happened in every market that has tried rent control. Is it's not worth then for somebody, it doesn't pencil out if they can't charge enough rent for, to cover the costs of building that housing.
The bill has an emergency clause, so it takes effect immediately, though it requires funding from the budget, which the governor is still reviewing. He has until May 20th to sign it. Opponents tell me there's been some talk about launching a ballot measure to repeal the law, though that is still very much up in the air. In Seattle, I'm Albert James reporting.